Our guest this week is a licensed social worker and a former adjunct faculty of UW-Madison. She is also the owner and the founder of Mary's Daughter LLC. What is the business all about? She is also the author of the book From 50 to Fabulous, Pivoting to a Life of Joy and Purpose. Our guest is Barbara Boustead. How did she survive the life's challenges? And what prompted her to be an author and a business owner? Before we proceed to the main interview, I would like to remind the viewers to click on the subscribe button and the bell button so you get a notification every time we have a new video released. This is Jeanette Jordy at Global Inspiration, where you need to be seen, need to be heard, and be an inspiration to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome Barbara Boustead.
Well, hello, Jeanette, and hello to the Global Inspiration audience. It is such a pleasure to be here this afternoon. Thank you for the invitation.
And it is our joy, it is our pride to have you on the show. So, Barbara, where are you originally from?
I am originally from Rockford, Illinois, and I was born and raised in Rockford and lived there until I moved to New Jersey. But in between, I was in Chicagoland area and other places, but my hometown is Rockford.
Oh, so you've been born and raised in Illinois, in Chicago, Illinois, but you are now in Madison, Wisconsin. What made you move to Wisconsin?
Many people ask me that because it is one of the last places people in New Jersey think about. I hate to say that. I love living here in Madison, but I was in New Jersey for 20 years and enjoyed that, but thought I needed to make a move. And I wanted to live within an hour's drive of my mom and my family. And they are still in Rockford, many of them. Now they're all over the, the country. But at that time, I wanted to be within an hour's drive. And Madison seemed like a good place. So I
Yeah.
came here to Madison. And I've been here since 2002.
Oh, I've been in America for almost 20 years this coming July. So I love Illinois, I love Wisconsin, and I love Iowa, where I originally from. Not originally from, the first stop in America. So share with us, Barbara, about your life, especially a special member of the family, your dog, Smoke.
Oh my goodness. We have a German Shepherd. He's 11 years old and his name is Smoke. I'm not a real big pet person, but my husband really wanted him and now he's a family member and we're a pack. That's how
Yeah.
German Shepherds like to be. They like to guard their pack. But my husband, Bo, and I have been married for about 15 years now, actually 15 going on 16. And so we live here in Madison. And then we have 4 adult children, and they live in different states. And we have one in Madison. And then we have a grandson in Minnesota. So we're excited to have some time with him once in a while with his parents. Yes.
Thank you very much for sharing about your family. I understand that you are a licensed social worker. Tell us more about that journey.
Well, social work has always been something that I was drawn to, helping others. And I just love the idea of service, and I love the idea of encouraging and supporting those who do not have a voice, people who are vulnerable. Right now, the last position I had was really working with, in youth crisis and working at Journey Mental Health Center, or now it's called the Mental Health Center of Dane County. Now it's called Journey. And when I started, though, it was the Mental Health Center of Dane County, working with youth who are in crisis. But I have worked with so many families and adults. And now in my work as a daily money manager, I get to work with seniors. So even though it's called daily money management, I'm also a social worker, and I will always be a social worker. It's what I love to do and who I am.
Yeah, you are a social worker in your heart. So, yeah, so I also understand that you are an adjunct faculty for field education at the UW-Madison School of Social Work. Tell us more about that.
Well, actually, that was what I did for 2 years between 2009 to 2011 before I became a daily money manager. Um, but it was really a dream for me to, and a culmination of my career as a social worker, to be able to go and actually teach a new generation of social workers about the things that will help them and encourage and support them in their journeys. And so that was such an exciting time. I loved working with my colleagues, but then I thought it was time to start a business. And then I left there in 2011.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. I understand that you own and founded Mary's Daughter LLC, and please share with us regarding that journey and also your role as a daily money manager.
I love this role. I didn't even know what a daily money manager was. My
Okay.
sister, her name is Bunny, was taking care of my mom, who was bedridden, and she was doing a wonderful job. But my mom had bills and my sister couldn't take care of it all. And so I started, when I was visit, I would see that that was something that she needed. And so I started doing that. And then she said, you ought to help your brother. He was a veteran. You ought to help him too. And she said, well, you're going to retire at some point. Maybe you should help people with their bills. You're really good at it. And I thought, that's different. Usually social workers don't pay bills.
Yeah.
And I did some research with a business coach at the School of Business and encouraged me to say, to find out what that was that I liked doing. And I found out that the American Association of Daily Money Managers, that it was a whole industry, a whole profession of people who were like me, finding a way to help people through bill pay and helping them get financially organized. It is truly a wonderful profession and one that I'm encouraging other people to go into. No, it started with me and my mom just having a conversation, and then I asked her. I said, "Well, would you mind if I called my business Mary's Daughter?" And she said, "No." And my sister said, I'm my daughter. I'm a daughter of Mary too." And I said, "Well, when you stop working, maybe we'll be Mary's daughters."
Yeah.
But no, she's doing something else right now, and I'm loving this profession. So yes.
So I am just curious. So your target community is just seniors, or this open to everyone?
Daily money managers work with anyone who has issues or who wants help with their money, busy professionals, travelers. But my particular interest is working with seniors, particularly those who are vulnerable to scam and fraud, because I have seen that they are so trusting and
Yeah.
so willing to give their money to someone to help them out. And they want to stay home, they want to be independent. And yet, people, unfortunately, take advantage of that. And so they
Okay.
sell them things that they, shouldn't sell them. And then they find out that all their money is gone. And I'm really working hard to make sure that doesn't happen to as many people as possible, that they are safe with their money. So yes. And then I work with veterans as well of all ages.
Thank you very much for sharing that, Barbara. You are very active in community services, and just sharing this with the viewers. When Barbara was recommended to be a guest at Global Inspiration, I click on one link, there's Barbara. I click on Facebook, there's Barbara. Like you click on radio, you click on newspaper, it's all Barbara. So I am curious, what are you primarily advocating?
I am primarily advocating, well, actually, there's two things. One is financial independence and financial empowerment. I think people really are taken advantage of because they don't understand how to set a budget or how to create a path to wealth. And because of that, then when they're in their elder years, they don't have options. They either have to move in with their adult children, which is not a bad thing if they want to, but sometimes the children can't take them on, or they go into nursing homes or places that their last years should be years of quality and of a good life. And they end up very much impoverished and feeling like they are not happy because their lives are just, they're like throwaway. And I don't like that. And I try to encourage people to start early with that. But I also have Alzheimer's and dementia research is a passion of mine. I'm also part of the research study. And so I go in for testing and they look at my brain and MRIs and they a lumbar puncture. And I take lots of psychological tests. And this is so that we can try to, and this is what with my friend, Fatu, she is an ambassador and she has encouraged me to get more involved. So thanks to her, I got more involved with the Alzheimer's Alliance and the research that they're doing. So those are my major passions. And I love my church and I can go on and on. So,
And I love what you are advocating for the community. I understand that you are an author of From 50 to Fabulous, Pivoting to a Life of Joy and Purpose. Tell us more about this book. What is this book all about?
this book was really, I would say, the brainchild of my good friend, Dr. Jasmine Zapata, who owns a publishing company, Motivational MD Publishing. And right when COVID started, COVID-19, I went to a workshop, Sagacious Livingston. We did this great conference for women. And I was so blown away with Dr. Zapata's discussion about how to write a book and that you can really write a book based on just your experiences. I had no plan to write a book. I was just in the workshop that she had talked about the seminar. And she was so inspirational and so encouraging and so excited that I had a book within me that she convinced me that I did. And she helped me to by answering questions, giving me a list of questions. And I really decided that I didn't know how this pandemic was going to end. I didn't know if I would survive. And I thought it would be really important that my kids have some idea of who I am besides the person they know as a child growing up in Rockford and a little bit of my experiences. And Dr. Jasmine helped me do that. She likes to go by Dr. Jazz. And she helped me through the questions. And then I was asked, well, what would you encourage other people who have gone through your experiences to think about? And so the book is part memoir, where I talk about my life, and also some of the things that I recommend women in midlife think about. So that's why I called it From 50. I was in a good life at age 50, but it wasn't the life I knew I could live. I knew there was more. There was more, and I felt God led, Spirit led, to discover what that was about. And I want other people to know that you don't have to stay stuck in a life that you may not be unhappy, but you're not living your best life. You're not living and using your gifts and your talents. You're feeling bogged down, you're feeling stagnant. And that's how I was feeling. So I know there are opportunities out there for people in their 50. I started my business, my second business at age 60. I was a therapist for over 15, 20 years. And that was a business that I loved in New Jersey. But you can start a new business at any point in time. So I just wanted to encourage people to do that. The book became just this wonderful opportunity, and it's been fun to talk about it. I didn't know a year ago, I would have said, me write a book, me being an author, no way. And now here I am.
Yeah. I am so interested to read the book because I will be 55 this year and I love life. And since we started Global Inspiration, it gives meaning to my life and to my co-host that this is what I want to do in life. So maybe I will be reading your book one of these days. So if the yeah, when your friends, my friends, and the community is interested to get a copy of the book, where could they have it? And any website?
Yes, many people go to Amazon first thing, but I also use local bookstores and a room of one's own in Madison if you live in Madison. And also, I have a website, barbaraboustead.com, and you're able to go on my website and order the book, and I can send you a signed copy.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So, what experiences did you have to prod or motivate you to write a book?
Oh my goodness. Just a couple of quick experiences. One is being in a place where I grew up thinking sometimes that I never fit in, that I wasn't quite sure who I was, and I didn't quite understand and know that I had a voice. My mom was very sweet and very kind. I mean, she would let us know what she felt, but I kind of grew up, you're supposed to be nice, you're supposed to kind of know your place. And I really felt like the book gives me the voice and encourages others to use their voice. I was really good at doing that with my clients. I was really good at advocating for people who needed help, but I didn't always speak up for myself. And being a woman of color, being a someone in New Jersey who sometimes people would question my ability to handle a project, or if in fact I would be the right person for the job. And usually, once I talked about it, once I found my voice, I had no problem speaking up and speaking out. And when there was bias, or people were looking at me and questioning or wanting to use me, sometimes they could get, back in the day, for diversity inclusion, and back in the day it was quota system. They can hire Barbara. We get a woman there and we get a Black woman, so we got 2 for 1. And I didn't like that. And I would say, I want to be in your position because I am good, I am knowledgeable, and I have the expertise. But if I'm filling in so that you can check the box, I'm out of here. So I had a number of jobs. I didn't stay in one job too long. I wanted to learn and move on. And I had many great experiences, but I wanted the book to let people know that you can make mistakes. When I was in college, I dropped out because of an unwanted pregnancy. And I ended up going through an abortion. And I ended up thinking that, many people don't want to talk about that because it's embarrassing or it's a stigma. Or why wouldn't you keep a child? And I was too young and too inexperienced and knew I wouldn't continue my education in the way I needed to. So it was a mistake. I went to another place, another school, enrolled. It closed its doors not soon after I, sent them my money. So I realized that you can make mistakes, but just get up. And I want people to know it's so important. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to feel marginalized. It's okay because we can speak out. And each time each one of us speaks out, it makes a way for someone else to come after us. And that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that my book is a legacy for my family, but for others who find themselves in a situation that I did, that I had a good life, but I had something more I needed to do. And so that's what I wanted the book to kind of show. So thank you for the question.
While listening to you sharing your story with the viewers, with me, it gives me this feeling of it's okay to commit mistakes, because a lot of people, they're so scared of committing mistake. You better shut your mouth. You do not do that if you're not sure. But talking with you, it is okay to commit mistakes. And your positivity in life is so contagious. And I want people to experience that. The last request I have for you, Barbara, is to share any inspirational thoughts or messages for our viewers.
Oh, I think I feel, for me, my spiritual guide is God. I For me, the 23rd Psalm takes me through some rough times, takes me through good times. Find find that for yourself, that is your guiding light. It may not be a religion. It may just be a spiritual, a sense of spirit-filled life that you follow. For many people, they believe in meditation. They believe in just empowerment through, doing mantras. My biggest encouragement is that you find what brings you joy. You find those things. For some, it is raising their children. Others, it's teaching. Others, it's just being with friends. You don't have to have a professional degree or credential. You just need to have the desire to want to help other people. I love that life. I don't take it for granted. Every day is a blessing. Every day. There are so many people who wish they could take a breath today. They aren't able to. I do not take that for granted. And that's what gives me joy every single day. In the hardest of circumstances, I realize that it is always a new day. It is always a new day with opportunities, with challenges, but it's all part of the picture. It's all part of the life. And if I can bring joy to others, that brings me joy because I know that's what my mom would want. And that's what God wants me to do as a part of his creation. So, and for people who are really struggling at what do I do, Barbara? How do I start? I'm in a really bad place. In the book, I talk about, first take time to reflect. There are so many people who the reason they can't find joy is they're not looking for it. They're so bogged down in their day-to-day business, their day-to-day, I get up, I get to take care of the kids, or I take care of my mom, or I got to take care of this or that. They don't take time to reflect. You are worth it. You are worth taking some time each day to think about what it is that makes you happy. It is so important to do that. And then once you have reflected on that, then reconnect with your source. Maybe for some people, what they used to do was bake and they have gotten away from that. Get back to some of that. Maybe they used to read inspirational books. Get back to that. For me, it was going to Bible study, getting back into Sunday school, and remembering the reason for me being on earth. And then finally, it's redirect. Take that new knowledge, take whatever you have learned about yourself and redirect it into a positive way. Redirect it into the community, redirect it into your children or into your relationship. If you're with a partner, a spouse, redirect that newfound energy and that newfound joy into the people and the things that make you happy. And then you are contributing to the world, not sucking things negative out of it that are making your life, making you feel toxic. And I can tell you, it has worked for me and worked for a number of people when they've focused on the joy, even though there's challenging times. Focus on the joy in terms of you are living a life that many people aren't able to have right now. With this COVID-19 pandemic, so many people have lost their lives. They weren't expecting that. They didn't know that. I wasn't sure I would be here today. I am so grateful to be here. So if I can share that with you, you find the joy yourself to share with others. So that's what I think I can share today.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I could sit here whole afternoon listening of your very vibrant personality. And one thing that I gather while listening to you is to look and find your joy. You cannot find it until you look and find it. Thank you very much, Barbara Boustead, as our guest this week. And again, our viewers, this is Jeanette Jordy at Global Inspiration, where you need to be seen, need to be heard, and be an inspiration to the world.